Hello everyone, Trisha, it's me Jenny, and it's time for another not naked video response to Trisha Hershberger's series Naked Truth, where we talk as candidly and as truthfully as possible about subject of her choosing. Straight out the shower, no makeup. Most people choose to do it naked, I choose not to. First take, one take. No editing, all those things. As I said, most people choose to do it naked, I choose not to, but either way it's not a sexual thing, it's just being honest and vulnerable and challenging yourself to be that on camera. Today was a non-hair washing day, so my hair's dry, but I am covered in water if evidence is required. It's always something that I wonder about when I have a non-hair washing day, whether or not people believe, but I've just come out of the shower, I'm not wearing makeup, straight out the shower. Although the not wearing makeup thing is very believable. Anyway, wow, I'm tangenting today. It's been a long day. I stayed up very late last night, and then I went to work, so I'm an idiot. And today's subject is alcohol. And again, the reason why I'm talking very fast is there's a lot of things to cover within this little topic, and I know I'm going to forget something and be like, I forgot something at the end of the video, but in the meantime, let me get on with the video. So, one of the first kind of brackets of the subject of alcohol is the legal aspects of it. Obviously I am English, if you can't tell by my accent, so the legal drinking age is 18, and I am very proud of my parents for the way they brought me up based on alcohol. Kind of the general consensus is, we know you're going to do it, please just let us know, just be sensible with it, and if you do get in trouble, it's better for you to contact us and let us know than for you to hide it and be scared of getting in trouble, because you won't get in trouble. Any ill effects that you are victim to due to alcohol will be punishment enough, and you know, we'll support you if you do get in trouble. Here are some basic rules for health and safety and physical health and mental health and well-being and sensible decision making. And that's kind of the way they brought me up. When we were very little, the legal drinking age, this may have changed since I did my original, I don't know, year 8, year 9, year 10, sex, drugs, education thing, but I believe the basic standing is it is legal to drink alcohol with permission of parent in non-high risk levels within your household after the age of 7. Now it may have changed, I may have misinterpreted that, I may have misremembered that, but with consent of guardian and within safe limits, there is a level of being able to drink safely. So my parents started off as very low level, so we were allowed when we were very little to dip our finger in whatever alcoholic drink they were having and then lick that. So that would be like a dip in the wine, or like dipping our finger in the beer foam and then being able to lick it. Once we got to about 11 or 12, we were allowed to have a sip with meal, a sip, just to try it, just to see whether or not we'd like it. And to be honest, when you're that age, you don't like it. Alcohol is a poison, and generally, unless you've become acclimatized to it, it's not a nice taste. So it was just like a little sip, with one sip with a meal once a week or so, if that, if we really wanted. And then when we got to about 14, 15, we were allowed to have a shot glass or a sherry glass of wine or whatever alcohol was being served, and then once we got to 16, 17, we were allowed to have a full glass of wine or whatever we fancied, and then obviously 18, you're allowed to go to town. And it was very sensible, it was very slow progression, so we actually understood how alcohol worked. It was one of those things that when I had my sex, drugs, education thing when I was 13, 14, I think it was 14 or 15, it was end of GCSE, and we had the alcohol talk, and one of the guys was like, haha, so, the guy who was doing the talk, he was saying, so after those not illegal parties that you have, what does the wine taste like after you've left overnight? And the thing is, I know what the wine cycle is. It starts with grapes, it goes to wine, and then it turns to vinegar. So I put up my hand and was like, it tastes like vinegar. And then the entire class was like, oh my god, Jenny's had wild parties. No. I was a goody two-shoes, even when my sisters and my friends started drinking at 14, 15, they'd, you know, have a couple of drinks at a party or pre-drink before going out. I was like, no, I want to tell Mum, because I was a dork. Once I got to 16, I was much more flexible and much more, I don't know what the word is, sensible of different people and, you know, different levels of alcohol tolerance and that sort of thing. That's not to say there hasn't been some silly situations that you get into when you're a teenager and it's not necessarily legal to drink, but I had the forethought of having a couple of friends that I could see going down that pipeline, and so I just kind of kept my head above water and just didn't do it. And that's one of the things that rarely gets said when alcohol education happens, which is why I'm so proud of my parents, which is, it's, you know, the things that generally get said is don't do it ever again, ever, 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 or peer pressure, which is do it all the time, you have to do it in order to have a good time. And the thing that needs to be said more often than not is it's okay not to. It's okay to do it, just do it sensibly. I have a very high number of rules that I apply to. I was having a conversation at breakfast at work today, and one of the girls was like, so you've never been drunk at work? And I was like, no, I've never been drunk at work. Like, she's like, not even hungover? I was like, I don't drink the night before I'm going to be working, especially if the night, like, I'm going to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning the next morning. It's just pointless. I don't want to deal with it. Like, it's hard enough crawling out of bed completely stone cold sober, let alone crawling out of bed and getting to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, having had a drink the night before. Like, you know, tonight I'm working the evening shift, so I could get there for 2 o'clock. I could technically have a drink tonight. I'm not going to, because I'd rather just not deal with that. I want to be able to get up and do things in the morning. And, you know, I've never had a hangover. Touch wood. Touch wood. Because I have a lot of rules. I never mix. If I'm having a night where I'm drinking cider, I will drink cider. If I'm having a night where I drink wine, I will drink wine. If I'm having a mixer for the night, I will drink just that mixer. I will drink a pint of water before going to bed. If I'm starting to feel drunk, I will subsidise every other drink for a glass of water or a mixer. The great thing about mixers is you can really, really water it down. You can have a glass of what is 90% lemonade. And no one's going to really know the difference. If you, like, you're feeling like you want to stop drinking and everyone else is still drinking around you and you've been having a Bacardi and Coke all night, just have a straight Coke for a couple of rounds. No one's going to know. If they're all drunk, no one's going to care. It's okay to let yourself sober up, and it's okay to be sensible, and it's okay to have fun. It's okay to want to be sober or not to be sober. People have just got in. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's okay to not enjoy drinking, and it's okay not to drink. And it's in a culture, like, I don't know whether or not it's British culture or just Western culture in general, where there's so much intensity on, in order to have fun, you've got to get drunk. Which is a complete and utter fabrication. You can have just as much fun stone cold sober. And for me, for the longest time, because I am kind of one of those people that has those lists and those internal cyclos, I didn't drink when I went out. I was much more content to be the sober one at the party, or the first one to sober up at the party, because the more drunk I get, the more panicked I get, because I'm aware that I'm in less control, and then I want to, like, harm down on the control, and of course I have less control because I'm not sober. Yeah. A couple of other rules: obviously hydrate, eat beforehand. In uni I used to have 1 or 2 ciders without feeling it. It will get worse as you get older, but I had half a bottle of cider a couple of months ago, and it was an instant hangover. Like, I didn't go drunk, I had an instant hangover. It was like splitting headache. It was awful because I hadn't eaten enough or drunk enough during the day. So prepare yourself physically, prepare yourself mentally, have water on hand, pre-drink, and then if you're going out clubbing or whatever, switch to a mixer. It's cheaper if you drink in advance and then go out, and then let yourself sober up, and you'll feel better for it. And if you do need that buzz, feel free to start drinking again, but if you feel like you need that, only if you feel like you need it. Other things: designated drivers, that should go without saying, but don't drink and drive. Know yourself safe route home. If you're going out, go out with friends. Beware of house parties. House parties, usually what happens is you wander around with a glass in your hand and you can just go and top up whenever you want. It's not like a club where you've got to wait in a queue or you've got to do other things. When you're at a house party, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be weird for a long proportion of that party, even if you know people really, really well. So beware of house parties and have a mixer on hand, because the only time I've got really, really drunk out of my mind was at a house party, because I had a bottle of wine in my hand, and you don't want to put it down because that's not good health and safety, even with people that you trust, and I didn't really know that group, so I didn't want to put it down, but I also didn't really, like, it was cold and I wanted to finish it, and so I tried to finish an entire bottle of white wine. Not a good idea. So beware of house parties, house party drinking. It's very easy to drink too much at a house party, because you don't have to wait, you just continue and you continue and you continue. For many parts that is a safe place, and that's part of the reason it's awkward and safe. So just be careful. Yeah. Be sensible, be safe. It's okay not to drink, and it is okay to drink as long as you do it sensibly. By the time I was 16 or 17, I was feeling pretty content drinking in social settings or at home. Obviously you couldn't drink out because that would be illegal. But things like, you know, going to a festival and having some really bad alcohol pops snuck in a plastic bottle, it's just one of those things you do. And it's kind of, I feel like in a way it should be like sex. Like, if you do it sensibly and if you do it without kind of letting the social pressures get to you, if you do it for you and you do it sensibly, then that is the best way to be. Prohibition doesn't work. If you want the evidence, look at the Prohibition era. Telling someone no and then letting society crush them once they get to the point where they're not under control to say no anymore, is the way to lead to negative things. Telling someone it's okay but be sensible is, I think, one of the best ways to be, because I was sensible for a very, very, very long time, and as I said, I've never, again, touch wood, never had a proper hangover, because I've always been sensible. And did that limit my fun? Maybe in someone else's context, but in my context I prefer to be safe and feel safe, and to know that I've always got somewhere nice to sleep it off, and the next day no one else is going to be negatively affected by my behaviour. Yeah, sorry, this was a really, really long vlog. I'm so sorry, it's going to take forever to upload. I'm so sorry. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Trisha, for the topic. I know I've forgotten to say something important, and I know that some people are going to really, really disagree with what I've said today, but there we go. That's just my opinion. I think a steady, trained level of sensibleness and permission is the best way to go, obviously within a legal standpoint and a legal boundary, but it's okay to say no, and it's okay to switch to mixers, and it's okay to drink only what you want to drink, and it's such a bizarre thing to have to say, but it's okay. Like, if someone is, like, if you've got a packet of sweets in front of you and you're really, really enjoying them, and you eat the packet of sweets and then you feel really, really sick, and then someone's like, hey, here's another pack of sweets, you'll really enjoy it. Would you eat the second pack of sweets even if you're feeling really, really sick? You probably wouldn't. You'd probably put it aside and enjoy it the next day. That's how I feel like you should deal with alcohol. Like, don't let peer pressure dictate the fact that you are maybe not enjoying it as much as you should. You know, there are many, many ways to hide it. If you're feeling under pressure, there are many, many ways to switch to something that you prefer more, or something that you feel more comfortable with. And in the end, it's not going to drastically affect your relationships, and if people judge you for not drinking, then they're not your friends. Anyway, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. I've said a lot, so feel free to comment a lot if you wish, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Bye guys.